Hello YouTube, I'm Sarah. It's time for another adventure of being Sarah. And yes, it's another Flosstube video. And so let's get started. Rosebud is getting a little annoyed at me because I keep mucking about, and this is what, third, fourth, fifth? I don't know. I've lost track. I don't know. So I did not start anything, and I have no haul, so those portions are going to be very quick to do. But I had proposed ideas for starts, but I didn't do any of them, so I'm still trying to figure out how. I'm not going to start the Santas anytime soon, the work basket Santas, which you can see them in the previous video. I was going to say issue, that's like not the right word. The previous video where I rambled about the patterns I liked from work basket. Somebody had commented and said something about basically do a triangle with them, which I never really thought about that. But that's kind of a cool idea, and I was thinking it would be 3, 2, 1, but then I'm like, wait a minute. She didn't actually say 3, 2, 1, so it would be triangle-like. Triangle. It could be triangle like this. Watching myself in the viewfinder. Yes, triangle. Sometimes it's hard to be me. Anyway, that could be a really cool looking like picture. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of putting them all in a row, but then I kind of like the idea of bell pull. I like bell pulls. I like story keeps. I like bell pulls. I don't know why I like that long, narrow strip. I don't know. Maybe because you can, sometimes you have in your house or whatever, you'll have like little moldings or whatever, the way that like like you'll just have a tiny little wall, and if you have a tiny little cross stitch, you can put your tiny little cross stitch on the tiny little wall. I don't know. But one of the ones that I definitely am going to do soon, I just don't know when, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to do this. I don't think I'm going to do them in boxes, but it's this, it's from the June, July 93 work basket. The holiday beaded boxes. It's got a dove and a Star of David. I have to say, saying that particular name for some reason in the past few days has just been, every time I say it, I'm like, you sound drunk. No, David, not David. I have no idea what my mouth is trying to say. But anyway, the Star of David. And the reason why that these are going to be done fairly soon, I hope, even though I kind of want to turn them into ornaments, but I'm not really sure. They're only like 42 by 42, but they're very effective at conveying what they're trying to do with those 42 by 42. But the reason why I am wanting to get that done relatively soon is I found a new to me Flosstube person, and she actually only has one video up, so technically she's new to Flosstube as well. I don't know. But that is the Mac Mum Stitches. THE, one word, and then MACMUM, and then Stitches. And is that a stink bug? Oh, crap. I swear. If it's not one thing, it's another. I don't know. Maybe my nose is just going insane. I swear I thought I just smelled a stink bug. They're around. Stupid soldier bugs. I don't know. They are very pesty, and I usually send them to a watery grave. There was one around earlier. I don't know. He's doing this stinky bug thing. Anyway, as I was saying, so I was watching your video, and at first it was a little hard to hear, but then the sound does get better So if you go and watch her video, I had it turned like all the way up. I don't know. And then the sound got better and I could turn it down a bit. And, sorry, my brain just went, what am I saying? So, okay. So one of the things she mentioned is that, she's on the lookout for like Hanukkah type patterns. And of course I thought of like, oh, wait a minute, I have this pattern. And I'm like, but I want to stitch them. So I sent her a message and she seemed very interested in them. And I told her, after I stitch them, do you want me to send them to you? And she's like, yes, please. So these will go to her once I actually stitch them. And as I said, I am interested in turning them into ornaments. I'm not really sure if I do want to do that or if I don't want to do it. I haven't really figured that out. And these are technically needlepoint type stuff. So instead of like the squares being like in the normal grid, they go on the corner of the grid. It's weird, but it's basically a stitch is a stitch is a stitch. It's whatever, But I really do think that they would be really neat to have sparkly ornaments on the tree. But I'm not sure when I'm going to get to those, because I got other stuff to do. But I do want to get to them. So let's see. What I worked on. Oh, I also didn't finish anything, so there's that as well. So that section is going to be really quick. So no new starts, although I have proposed starts. And then I have no finishes, and I have no haul, so yay. But what I worked on, I almost forgot. I also have these that I had these a while, but these ones should be started soon as well. Yes, he's Hadeworthy. So anyway, it seemed like I just filmed a video or whatever of updates, and I'm like, holy crap, Muffin, didn't we just do this? I have nothing to show. This is going to be a short video. Well, no, because I have some stuff to rant about. And last week or whenever it was that I had to re-record the video, I kind of got a little ranty and rambly and stuff. But I got some stuff to say, and there may be language issues. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so things I worked on. Oh yeah, I'm like, what day was this? So I did not actually get around to that stocking. That was Yak and Yarn, which was last Tuesday. So technically it's not quite a whole week, but whatever. So some of the lovely things that happened last week is we found the projects. We founded them. And you're like, what are you talking about? I have been missing 2 projects for at least months, years probably. But this is a floss list. But yeah, this is one of the ones that I've been missing. This also, will give it to me, had this on it since the last time I worked on it. Bad Sarah. Very bad Sarah. Bad. So, this is the one, this is the Pomeranian no background Shiny Sun, which I finally got tired of trying to find it, and they had a 50% off. They actually had their anniversary 50% off sale through, well, Wednesday, which is the 31st of January. Sounded like it was so far away, and I'm like, wait a minute, today's the 29th. Anyway, it's 50% off. There's a code which is on the front page, but I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just get a backup, and then I'll get another one, and then I'll have a backup if I find the original one. Because I wasn't gonna just go ahead and get everything or whatever, but I just wanted, because I kind of think I want to do it again, stitch this again, because my sister loves Pomeranians. We love Pomeranians, 2 different houses. And, you know, if I move out or whatever, I want my own Pomeranian picture. And this one, if you wonder what Molly looks like, she really does look a lot like this. She really does. So, without further ado, I've been trying to minimize that hoop mark. Yeah, it kind of looks like a bit of an impressionist. That's my little test swatch. But yes, that is the Pomeranian. And yes, I would really, really like to get this done as soon as possible, and so I can get it framed and blah, blah, blah. But yes, I am super, super happy that I was able to finally find that. And where was that one and the other one? They were both together in their little Kroger plastic bags, or not Kroger bags, but you know, I don't remember what bags they were in, but they were in their little bags. I'm just going to put this over here rather than continue to fight with the pattern. They were both in their little bags under some magazines, and it was very annoying. But we found them, so yay! And then the other one is this one. And that one is a Hade, and it is Quick Stitch Unicorn Moth. And yes, it's only 100 by 75. Yes, it's teeny tiny. These are the ones that I have not marked yet. These are the ones that I've done. I was like, wait a minute, what is what? And for both of those, I'm tinting them. The Pomeranian is 3 strands on 25/1 tinted, and this is 22 count Ehramagerrrrd, also tinted with 3 strands. He's tiny. It's like smaller than Rosebud. But yeah. So it's a little hard to see from back here because it's all very similar colors, but once it gets all done, it'll be beautiful. And I'll do there's 2 other ones, Quick Stitch Rainbow Valley and Quick Stitch Unicorn Valley. Yeah, something like that. Either way, they're by the same artist. I was going to say author. I'm like, that's not the right word. So I am very pleased with how that is. I worked on it a little bit this morning, but not much. Like, we're talking like 5 or 6 stitches. But I am kind of considering keeping this out and finishing this. And the reason why I'm considering doing that is because I have 2 minis that I don't have kitted up. I don't have the fabric yet. I mean, the fabric's not hard to find. I mean, I can use that. I can get whatever. Anyway, the fabric will be relatively easy to get. It's just, of course, the floss. So I decided that I'll figure out how many finishes that I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get some finishes. And that would be an easy enough finish, relatively, I would assume, because a lot of what's left, other than the colors I pulled, are confetti. So that means off to the big box to pull out the confetti things and fill those in. And so that would be good to be able to get that done. And then if I, finish some other things as well, then I could start kitting up one of the minis. And the problem is, I don't know which mini. So One of them is Hades. Well, they're both Hades. One of them is a gargoyle. I think it's called Rooftop Vigil. And it's a gargoyle that's peering down in the rain. Because gargoyles. And then the other one is, what's that? Minnie Jolly Roger or something like that. It's a mermaid that's looking at her back, and there's a tattoo of a ship. And she looks really cool. And I think either one of them would be a great thing to reward myself by kitting up if I finish stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure which one. Because I'm like, ooh, the mermaid. But ooh, the gargoyle. The gargoyle, but the mermaid. I don't know. Anyway, so the things I worked on. I did not work on 161, at least that I remember. Yeah, because I worked on that a bit at Yak and Yarn, but I haven't worked on it since. I know, I'm running out of time. Oh well. No, I did. I'm wrong. I did. Because that's right, the World Wars. I had borrowed the World Wars, which is a History Channel program, from the library. That's right, thank you. So I did get some done. Not much up here. There's a little bit of this blue-gray, but I'm getting a lot closer to having finished all these ones down here. I kind of got a little tired of working down here, so I was like, I'm gonna work on this. What is this? This one? I think it's this one. Yeah. So I pulled that one. Well, I already had it pulled, but I decided I was going to work on that one. So I'm going to work on that, and then I'm going to come back here and work on this brighter red. Because I think I'm done with the darkerish red. And then there's black, of course, to do. And then I'll work on this one, and then this one. But yeah, I did get quite a lot done on the black and that red down there while I was watching the World Wars with Mom. We made a whole Saturday evening out of it. What did you do this weekend? I watched history documentaries with my mom, and Stitch, which is actually not a bad thing. It just, you see, it kind of goes a little long once you're watching all 3 episodes, because it's mini-series, so you think, oh my gosh, how much longer? Well, it's an hour and a half each. So I did do that. I totally forgot about that because I forget what day it is. But yeah. So another thing that I did was I took this one, the poppy pear. I took that with me on Wednesday out to dinner, and then there was the Roanoke Nerd Club. That's my terminology for it. So I had worked on this, and I got quite a lot on for me. Which is up and which is down? Which side is right side up? So here's that big poppy. So I'm going to continue as long as I can with this one color, and then fill in the rest. But yeah, I was pleased at that because it's one of these smaller ones, and the fabric is, you kind of have to push a little to get it to go through the fabric, a little more than on other projects. But yeah, so I got to work on both my poppies. Poppies. Oh, and of course, Guardians. I did not get as far as I thought I would, because I was hoping to get all of Guardians done, at least all of the frame done, because the first is Thursday, and the first will have February. But I'm anticipating that I will be able to get this done probably today, and then I will be finished with the frame and January. So it's like mini finishes. It really does feel like it's a finish, though. But here is Guardians, and yes, it still has its hoopy on it. But I had gone, what did I do? I did this legs. I did the gray for the legs, and then I filled them in, and is that how I did it? Anyway, and then I started with the gray here, and I'm hopping over here, and then I'll fill it in, and fill it in, or fill it in, and fill it in, and then I'll come up the middle, and that'll be the last thing I do. I'm kind of excited about that. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So more than likely, the next time you'll see this, you'll see February. And February evidently has purple in it. Because there was a sneak preview, and not that I recognize the Guardian, but evidently purple floss is going to be used. So yeah. So that's all of that. Of course, my goals are still the same as ever, to continue to organize stuff and continue to stitch and read and blah, 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 blah. See previous videos. So now I come to the other topics. I may need a drink on this because my throat's getting a little tired. Okay, so one thing that's come up is actually not specifically Flosstube related, but it has to do with everybody in YouTube. And so, of course, I'm going to address it. It's YouTube changed their policy about monetization, which really doesn't affect me monetization-wise, because I really had zero interest in monetizing. I mean, it's cool, but I really don't think I would ever have, sorry, I thought a stink bug or something. Anyway, I really don't think that I would ever have a big enough audience to even get monetized. But for those who are freaking out, we don't yet know for certain whether or not the custom thumbnails or the whatevers are going away that are the tools, which I really would like them to leave the tools alone, because granted, I don't do a whole lot of end cards or stuff, but I like the custom thumbnails. I do. It's neat. So then, because sometimes they have really weird thumbnails, I'm like, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. So it's nice to put up a separate thumbnail. But if that goes away, then that goes away, and it's not going to be a big deal. And I think it's more the principle that it's like we had to get to this one, and then you changed it. And it kind of feels like the rug has gotten pulled out from underneath you. But in case you're wondering, the new guidelines are you need 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have 4,000 hours, which is 240,000 minutes of watch time. That means somebody has to watch your videos for 4,000 hours, or 240,000 minutes. That doesn't mean you have to watch that much time. That means your videos have to be watched. If you have an hour-long video, 4,000 people have to watch it. It has to be watched 4,000 times, all the way through, if your video is an hour long. Then there's other math in case you have shorter videos. I don't know. So this may or may not affect the Flosstubers, but it is what it is. And yeah, it kind of sucks. So I'm not really sure what it is about this time of year, but there seems to be, ass hattery afoot. And I've been looking back on this day, you know, on Facebook where you can go back and see what happened last year, 2 years ago, and 10 years ago, or whatever. And it can be really interesting. You can go back and see what sort of shenanigans you were getting up to. Or like sometimes it'll be funny memes or whatever. I frequently share my own memories. And it'll say 2 years ago, and it'll be whatever it is. But I've noticed lately, in the past week or two, on this day, there has been, in previous years, around this time, a bunch of asshattery groups. Not just groups I'm in, I also admin a group, which I'm not going to put here because we have certain requirements, or if we see this, we're not adding you. Like, I'm sorry. If you can't see all the admins, that means you've blocked one of them, or they've blocked you, or there's a block in place. And if there's a block in place between the admin and the group member can't see what the admin, if there's like an update or something. They can't message them, and they can't be like, hey, this is going on, or hey, you violated the group rules, or whatever it is. They can't message you. If they can't message you, like, you can't know what's going on. So in the groups I admin, it's like, no, don't block the admins. Sorry, it's a group rule. And there are several groups that we had decided, if somebody is in this group, we're not adding them to our group because we don't agree with some of the things that have gone on in these groups, and you can't. They're closed, so you can't see what goes on in them anyway. So you can't see if they're doing better. So sorry. These are the rules. If you don't follow the rules, or if you are in this other, I am rambling. I'm sorry. I'm trying to say things without being specific. If you're in group A, B, or C, you can't join our group because we don't agree with things that go on in A, B, and C. It's clearly spelled out in the description, and yet we even have like questions, which are not questions. It's just an FYI because people don't read. It's like, no, you're in this group. No, we're not adding you. It doesn't matter how many times you ask. If you're still in this group, no. Sorry, no. Not even sorry, just no. So, I've noticed a lot of asshattery going on in previous years that just seem to keep continuing. I don't know, is it because of it being January? Because of the new year? New year, new asshattery? I don't know. But that leads me to some rude comments. Actually, first that leads me to my brain train was back on the group rules things. If something's like spelled out in a group description, or preferably rules that are posted in the group, part of the rules of a group, and you do something that violates said group rules, and then you kind of get a little shirty with an admin, you're not going to be able to stay in the group. This is not, I'm looking in on this part of this situation, and I'm not mentioning names, and I'm not throwing shade. I can't have sympathy for the person who was booted out of the group because that person was doing something that I'm pretty sure was clearly against the group rules of Like, don't cross-post. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not throwing shade. I'm not mentioning names. I'm not going to specifics. But this is not actually that unusual of a group rule, no matter where this is. Like Ravelry. A lot of the times, the rules for the forums on Ravelry say do not cross-post. And people can get into trouble. And I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with the admins being bored or having no life or whatever. I'm sorry. Unless you're an admin, you don't know the shit we deal with. I have been sent screaming messages where it's all in caps and it's been quite colorful and abusive language. I don't get paid for this shit. And if I'm using that sort of terminology, you can imagine the terminology I'm not using. And yeah, so my brain just totally went, what? Oh, speaking of language, it's like, I'm sorry. The group that I admin, we never had anything about don't use foul language. Well, somebody had posted a picture and there was some foul language in the picture. And people kept reporting. I'm like, stop reporting it. It's not violating the rules. It's cross-stitch related. So not like spammy porn bots or whatever. We used to have that. I don't know if you guys were around during those days. Yeah, there were people that would add themselves to cross-stitch groups and post porn. I kid you not. Or advertisements for shoes or sunglasses. Those were the big ones. Yeah. So it's like we probably should all be adults in here. I don't know if everybody's an adult. There are thousands of people in this group. I can't know the ages of every single person. You know, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna just kick you out because I think you're underage or whatever. But we're not gonna censor stuff unless it's like directed towards another person. You know, if it's hate-filled, directed at another person. Seriously, grow up. And so that sort of puts me into the whole YouTube, because, yeah, sorry, my brain is trying to channel to the various things. But one of the things that I saw was a very rude comment on somebody's video. I'm not saying who. I'm not saying either party's name. I did comment on it. And if somebody finds that comment, then that's on them for finding the comment on which video it was. Which video it was. And it was very rude. And it was, I remember it was something about the commenter called the person who had talked about something in a respectful sort of manner petty. I'm like, and then used the name for the other person. It was a situation around two people that the person had commented. It was a cross-stitch related thing. But it's like, wow, and you're going to use the other person's offensive nickname. Who's really being petty? I know. But I thought it was really rude. And the person whose video who they commented on was very gracious about it. Far more gracious than I would have been. Even with my mod hat on. I would have just blocked that person from commenting at all. Because there was no need for it. Ah, that's right. There was no need for it. That was my train of thought. From the complaining about the group policies, to the YouTube comment, to the, oh, let's go comment from YouTube, Flosstube, onto Facebook, and yes, that was in the Stitch. This next thing was seen and has since been deleted from the Stitch Mania group. I didn't quite get. I saw some of it. I saw the original post, and I saw some of it, including the response from a moderator, or excuse me, an admin. And basically, I had a little note about that in the description of my previous video. All I'm gonna say is, this bra's for you, R. This bra's for you. I haven't gotten around to making my song about it, but there's gonna be a song. I'm gonna deal with it like Jen Dent does. You're gonna get your own song, R. And I'm just using the first initial of this person. I'm wearing a bra for you, R. All for you. And for everybody else, yes, I was royally pissed when I read that. Absolutely and unequivocally unnecessary. And I can be kind of petty when it comes to this sort of shit. Oh yes, there's going to be a song just for you, R. So, I'm going to get off of here now. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to rewatch the Wool Wars, because I renewed the videos. I renewed the discs. Yay me! I didn't feel like going out on Saturday to take them back. Laziness, and I really kind of wanted to watch them again, but I'm not really sure now. But I have them through Thursday. But I will continue with that. And then fill in, and then up. And I'm really hoping that that will get done today. I was really hoping it'd get done Saturday, but it just didn't happen. And then Sunday was game, which, yay, the party back together. The player of one of the characters had been gone, IRL stuff, not able to get to the game or Skype into the game, so his character was off doing other things, while the other 2 to 3, which is now back down to 2, were cleaning up house. And then last game session, one of the other characters couldn't be there. The missing player. And the missing player, I was not expecting this. His character called his mommy, who is evil, and his mommy rescued him from a bad situation, only to end up in a worse situation. And it's like, hey, you should check on your cousin. And he mailed the letter off, and the other player gets it and like, why is Nikki in the abyss? And then it was, oh, hey, we kind of have to figure out how to get Nikki out of the abyss. What? Why is he there? I don't know. So they managed to figure that out. So now they're all basically back together, and they can continue on with the storyline. Oh, and the fun thing that still cracks me up, the last time that the 2 players had gone to the house, they had taken several NPCs with them, and there was a werewolf, and the werewolf bit a few of the players, and those players, one of the players and one of the NPCs failed their will saves, so they contracted lycanthropy. But the PC got himself all taken care of, and so technically also so did the NPC, because cleric. But the NPC was a little too giddy about having contracted lycanthropy, and I channeled a friend of mine's former PC, Clodo. Clodo was a very strange and unusual halfling who, when he was bitten by a were-leopard, was convinced that he was now a were-leopard and would take a mirror and try to look at his fangs. So I channeled Clodo for Corsair, and at the very end of the game session, Tanith comes over to Bester John, and she's like, "So, what happened at the house?" "Oh, okay. Yeah, werewolves. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, Corsair is going on about his bitchin' new fangs that he's gonna get." "Thanks, John." So yeah, I channeled Clodo. And that little bit of shenanigans brought to you by Pathfinder. No, not my trouble. The game system. And the weirdness that we do with it. Okay, and on that note, bye.